Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to TSK F1 and the Watchalong for the Australian Grand Prix qualifying. How are we this morning? Where are you joining me from in the world today? Because here in the UK, it's about 5:45 in the morning. I was just delaying a little bit because I was listening to what they had to say from Pirelli. And I can bring you the news, as I just said in the chat there, that it is, in fact, raining. It is, in fact, raining over in Australia, Albert Park. It's kind of stopped, but then it started and it stopped, and it's what they're saying is it's very greasy and difficult for the drivers over there at the moment. So it'll be really interesting to see what we end up with over there. Now, I'm just trying to sort out my multi-view stuff, so I've got all the data. But how are we doing? Is my mic on? Is my mic on? Test, test. Yes, my mic is on because it wasn't on yesterday when I started the show. But welcome, guys. Oh, it's early, isn't it? It's early. It's early. It's always brilliant. I love getting up for the Australian Grand Prix because back in the day, for me, this was the start of the season. So, good morning, Chris. How are you doing, dude? Hope you're well. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for joining me. How are we doing? I'm just trying to uh just trying to sort some bits out here and get all my stuff sorted. There we go. Very early. Who do you think we're going to see on pole today, guys? That's the interesting one. I'm just seeing Will Buxton head to toe in his Alpha Tauri gear. Loves a bit of fashion, does the boy. Robert Schwartzman is on the F1 TV coverage. He seems an intelligent, well-spoken lad. I've not really spoken to him. I've not really heard him speak. I've never spoken to him. Oscar Piastri, can he do something this weekend? How you doing, Laura? Good morning, dude. Have you slept? Your stream, your Sky Sports is playing up. Hopefully it gets sorted. So it's meant to be, they're calling it greasy at Albert Park, and Pirelli say because of the type of track it is, that means there is very little grip, which I think is particularly bad news for the Mercedes guys, but I don't know. I'm gonna be really honest, I haven't even seen the FP3 results, so let me bring those up and give you an update on those. Sorry if I'm a little bit off form. It's just early, but I shall try, and that's Bahrain. I found Australia. Is this today? Yes, it is today. Let me have a look. So in FP3, we had Max Verstappen, Alonso, Ocon, Russell, Gasly, Perez, Sainz, Hamilton, Stroll, Zhou Guanyu, Hulkenberg, Albon, Leclerc, Piastri, Bottas, Sonoda, Sargent, Magnussen, De Vries, and Norris. I'm surprised because on F1 TV, they're talking about Alonso getting a pole and a win. Now, even as an Alonso fan, I don't see it happening. But it'd be great to see for the sport in general. But I mean, I don't know if my heart can take it this early in the morning. But oh dear. So Oscar Piastri's got in trouble because he did his practice start in FP3, I think it is, before he went over the checkered flag. So he should have passed the start finish line, gone all the way around, and then come back round for his practice start. Oh, had like an hour's sleep. Oh, dude, because you were drinking last night and things, weren't you? Who do we think's going to get pole then? There's 8 of you in here. Thanks for joining me. I honestly thought it'd be 0 this morning, but who do you think's going to get pole this morning? I want your predictions in the chat. I personally don't think Alonso can do it. I think that Red Bull and Max Verstappen are too strong. Personally, I've still got Jeddah behind me. I need to change that, don't I? Let's get a picture. Well, no, let me fly. Let me fly to Albert Park. The illusion. I've ruined the illusion. I'm still in Jeddah. I just realised, I was like, oh no. I've ruined the illusion. Right, let me Max, I guess. Yeah, I can't look past Max, honestly. As much as I'd like to. It's difficult to, isn't it? It's difficult to. I think it's this one. It is that one. There we go, look. I'm down at turn 3 and turn 4 at a very weird angle. I'm sort of leant really far back on a big gantry. It's windy and wet up here. There's lots of people in, though. Sleep deprivation isn't good. Yeah, because you barely slept last night either. Though, look, one good thing is when we have these sessions that you can get some right randomness in them, can't you? When it's raining on and off, because that's how they're describing it on F1 TV, that it keeps like raining, then stopping, then raining, then stopping. And we can get some really random results when that happens. So we can be hopeful that some craziness happens and someone gets caught out. You know, at the end of the session, you get the drying track and all that stuff. That could go down. Some crazy stuff could happen. Let's hope. Let's hope. Was it? Oh, mate, I was not awake for F2. I'm not going to lie, mate. I'm not going to lie. If you're in the UK and you're up for the F2, then you are a better human than me. So we've got the intro music for Formula One. You guys can't hear this, can you? Just to check, and don't lie to me. Let's reset the. We're in Q0 according to the live timing. Let me just refresh this. You're an hour ahead, even so. Even so. Well, I suppose. There we go. Live timing all sorted. There we go. My live timing's up on the screen. Happy fun times. 21 degrees over in Melbourne. Fair, Chris. I can't look past Max Verstappen for this, I'm not going to lie. Please do make sure you're getting involved in the chat, guys, and hitting that like button. It really helps. I was really surprised that so many people like the old version compared to this version of Albert Park. Also, four DRSs. Why have they got four DRSs? I mean, it works both ways, I suppose. I was just about to say, maybe it stops the likes of Max Verstappen pulling away at the front quite as much, but I suppose if it's someone like Max Verstappen coming through, it makes it easier, doesn't it? But I've always wanted to go to this race. I don't know why. I never think of Melbourne as being a beachside city. I don't know why I don't. I always think it's landlocked, but it isn't at all, is it? Right on the beach there. Looks lovely. Has anyone ever been to Melbourne? Looks a proper winner of a place to go. Ooh, big yawn. It looks properly in the middle of the city. I don't know if it is, but it looks it. So the official risk of rain is 90% for this session. So it's almost definitely going to rain. Hey, Gled, how are you doing? How you doing, man? That's the first member this morning. Good morning, Gled. How you doing, dude? Looking forward to it because if it really does rain, we all know anything can happen when it rains. Pa- Pace on pace, I don't see anyone beating Max in the Red Bull. But with rain, you never know what's going to happen. Because generally you'd say you want to be last over the line, but yeah, indeed, Chris. Indeed. Usually you'd want to be last over the line, but what if there's a downpour just before the end of the session, you know? So you'll see times tumble. We could see really surprising people drop out here. I hope so. Please do hit that like. I'm good. Set a laugh. 550. Woken thought. Why is that going off? Mate, I did the same thing. I set mine for 5:15 because obviously I have to get up and get the computer on and get all my screens sorted and things like that. Um, uh, yeah. And when I woke up, I was just like, "Oh Lord, what am I doing?" And then I remembered. We've got both Williamses, both Alfa Romeos waiting at the end of the pit lane already. I can't tell what the back two cars are there. The rear wings are too nondescript. For me, I think it's going to be Max Verstappen, but it's impossible to tell today. It really is impossible to tell today with the rain and things like that. Al Hassan, it's really hard to tell because everything can change really, really quickly. You know. Yeah, I could do with AI eyes and just sit here in silence, but max fastest, then it was. I did have this up a moment ago, but I think I've closed it at Gled. Max fastest with Max second. Lewis was like eighth, something like that. We've got. Is that a Ferrari? Is that the Ferraris out or the Alfa Romeos? Oh yeah, it's the Alfa Tauris, Alfa Romeos, Haas. We've got Lando and a Haas out as well. So quite a few cars have gone out right now while it's still dry. And this is how it's possible to get a bit of a crazy result. Verstappen still sat in the pits. Phone going off. Wouldn't it be good to get a bit of a crazy lineup? Imagine Piastri popping in a lap here. My daughter's just realised that her dad is insane. What's up? I'm not still awake. I've woken up. Look. It's the Formula One Watchalong. It's in Australia, so I had to get up early. I did say last night, I forgot to tell you, so... Are you all sleepy?
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. You alright? Did you just wonder what was happening?
Yeah.
Love you, darling. Alright. I'll do your breakfast after this, alright? Love you, darling. I knew she'd do that. I knew she'd be like, what are you doing? Brilliant. Sorry about that. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Okay. Good morning, Harry. How you doing, dude? Morning, Ian. And is anyone on a lap yet? On an actual lap yet? I actually think a few are, aren't they? Yeah. I think a few are on laps right now. So we're gonna. I think you will see literally if the last of this bunch as they go over the line are probably going to be fastest. Do you know what I'd love here? Right, I'm not being funny, but we haven't got the Mercedes, the Alpines, the Ferraris, the Astons, the Red Bulls out at the moment. It'd be brilliant if it just rained now, really hard. As we see the tyre covers coming off Max Verstappen's car as they prepare to send Max Verstappen out for a run. And out of the pit box comes Max, for you Max fans. As Alonso comes out as well, I should have the... I should get up Lewis Hamilton's, because I'm basically covering all bases here because that's who the majority of fans in the chat are. Lewis, Max, and I've got Alonso because, you know, Alonso fan. So Magnussen sets the fastest time. We've got a yellow flag on track. I'm not seeing anything. Don't know. It's cleared though. I don't know what's going on, but Albon goes sectors 1 and... Oh, it was Sargent. Logan Sargent at the final corner. That's not good for Logan Sargent. Max Verstappen is passing lots of car on his outlap. Lewis Hamilton crawling out of the pits. I think he's looking for traffic and finding a gap at the minute. So currently we've got Hülkenberg, Albon, Magnussen, Norris, Zhou. Piastri pops it into 4th. De Vries, Bottas, Tsunoda. This is a lot of data this early in the morning. Right, Max Verstappen begins his lap now. Let me reload this page here. One moment. Verstappen with a green first sector. I'm not seeing a purple one. Who's done purple? Not sure. Another yellow flag. Verstappen's actually half a second off on this first lap. In the first sector. It's Perez. Perez has binned it. Perez has binned it. That is going to be a red flag. Red flag indeed. Red flag. I tell you what. Now. Now, this brings out a few different situations. If the rain comes out and it comes out heavy now, if it you didn't, you said reliability issues, unless his engine blow up, I suppose. Oh dear. Yeah, so now I'm just saying, if it were to rain now, we would be losing Gasly, Leclerc, Stroll, Hamilton, and Sainz. There's a risk of it. There's a potential of that happening, you know. There is a potential of it happening, so we've got a red flag with 11 minutes 44 left on the clock. Oh, mate, that's silly from Checo, isn't it? So that's Perez, last. I'm not being funny. Who'd go for a bit of rain right now? Who'd go for some rain now? Look at how crazy that is. It'd be so. Oh yeah, true. You do get a point. You have made a point there, Harry, because they've still set no time, right? Yeah, I get what you're saying. A downpour now though would be fantastic because you'd be getting a mad top 9. Checo. I did mention on yesterday's TSKF1 that this weekend was a big weekend for Checo. And honestly, that is not even close to making that corner. You know, with Checo saying there's an issue, I want to go back to, I think it was FP1. So maybe you did call it, you see. I want to go back to FP1, I think it was, with Max Verstappen. Specifically with his brakes, because he was complaining, saying something was wrong with the rear. That they were dragging the rear brakes a lot. So maybe there's stuff going on with the braking system. Now David Coulthard's saying something interesting on F1 TV about engine braking on the rear axle, and that would make sense. While he's locked up the front, maybe the issue is actually at the rear, because Max Verstappen had an issue as well earlier in the weekend, and Perez has just done that. Perez has run wide many times. He already did actually, so did Max in earlier practice sessions too. So maybe Red Bull here, for whatever reason, I mean, the engine braking's to do with the engine and the regenerative system and things like this. So maybe there's multiple problems going on, you know, with the sort of rear of that Red Bull. It's an interesting one. So it might not be strictly brakes, you know. It might manifest itself as a braking issue. Does that make sense? Because obviously it's in the slowdown phase, but maybe not as simple as just brake pedal, brake pad, brake disc. You know what I mean? The session will start again in 3 minutes as the marshals get rid of that Red Bull. Yeah, and Julian Palmer's just saying how he was miles off there, and you've got to agree with that, right? It wasn't close, was it? So I'm inclined to agree with what Coulthard was saying, which is a rare thing for me. That I feel like the issue might be down to the back, the rear, because obviously it's really complicated these days with the braking systems, because you have regeneration rates on the rear axle where they're getting it's too early for me to think about all the technical stuff, but where they're basically regenerating the electrical energy to power the hybrid, and that affects how the rear of the car brakes and things like that. And maybe they've just got something, for whatever reason, here isn't working very well. Well, Gled, it that's what I'm saying, Gled. That I've seen similar, not quite as bad as that, but seen similar from Max Verstappen this weekend, and he has complained a few times about the braking and dragging the brakes and things like that. I feel like that was a car issue. I think you did call it, Yassine. I think you did call it. I think that's a car issue. I don't think that was on Checo. I actually don't, you know. As Max Verstappen is the first at the end of the pit lane, I think Red Bull may be expecting a bit of a shower of rain. So we've got 11 minutes 44 on the clock. Everyone, both Aston Martins, 100% right now, right? That Red Bull's sat there, yeah? 100% right now, all the team's photographers, which they employ, they all do, multiple photographers, they will all be running to that part of the circuit to take pictures, as many pictures of that Red Bull as possible. Okay, we're about to restart. Both Ferraris, Aston Martins. It's interesting. I'm in a situation which I haven't had before, where my onboards are ahead of my F1 footage, which is interesting. Please do get involved in the chat, guys. Give me your opinions. Give me your input. Watch-alongs, we may as well call them a chat-along. Thank you so much for joining me, though. Hit that like button as well on the stream. So my actual onboards, yeah, are ahead of where my footage is, which is, I know that might not make sense, but it's a bit confusing. Putting me all out of sync. Perez had set 2 purple mini sectors before he went off. No wonder his last mini sector was purple. He didn't break. Oh, Checo. To be fair, though, if it's a dry race, Checo should be getting... It's not as easy. I wouldn't say it's as easy as Jeddah to pass, but I would be expecting Perez to make the top 5 tomorrow in that car with 4 DRSs. I'd expect a top 5 personally. So all your favourite drivers are out now, guys. I'll keep an eye on the mini sectors. They're going to be quick, aren't they? We've got 10 minutes left on the... all of my timing and everything is miles behind. It really, really is. The F1 TV stuff's good, though. Verstappen goes green in the first sector, not purple. How far behind is he? Just behind Hulkenberg. Interesting. That is interesting. Purple middle sector, though. Normal service resumed somewhat. Takes 1 heat cycle for the tyres to be optimal. What, so like the faster on a second run, or that they need to do two like hot laps, or do, yeah. Verstappen goes on to provisional pole by 0.3 of a second there. Stroll with a purple mini sector. He's not as fast, but it's worth noting. I feel like I didn't say the right name there. Where is he? He's gone up to third. Fast out laps, all 2 runs. Right, I see. Oh, someone weaving in front of Stroll there. I thought Hamilton had stopped then. It was just a freeze on the onboard. So we've got Verstappen, Hulkenberg, Stroll, Hamilton, Albon, Russell, Alonso, Magnussen, Piastri, Norris. So I reckon they're doing a couple of fast ones. Yeah, I think they're doing a couple of fast laps, aren't they? I think we'll see, like you've just said there, Harry, probably a fast run, a slow down lap, and then them go for it again. How's the connection this morning, guys? Is it nice and stable? Oh, purple middle sector for Albon there. Albon up into second. Get in, lad. Go on. This is what we're going to get until the end of this session. We're going to get this to the end of this session now. People just setting times and it getting faster and faster. Great to see, though. I'm saying that, you know. I'm saying that. But Sainz is slower. Sainz is actually slower. As is Leclerc. As is Leclerc. Hello, Williams. Welcome to... Oh, look, Fernando. Oh, Fernando, you're spoiling us. Oh, Fernando with a purple first sector. Green second sector. Alonso flying. This could be a really good sector. Lots of people seem to think that Alonso can genuinely fight for the pole here. As Alonso goes into provisional pole by 0.2 of a second. So he did what you said there, Harry. He had a dodgy middle sector there as well, so there's more in that. But he did what you said there, Harry. He had an out lap, then he had a moderate lap, and then he's gone for it. And he's gone very quickly. So he's conditioned the tyres, as he said, as Verstappen goes 0.3 faster than that still. So we're going to see the times tumble here. We really are. Literally lap on lap on lap, we're going to see the times get faster and faster. So we've got Verstappen, Alonso, Stroll, Russell pops in to 4th place just now. Hamilton on a personal best up to 6th place. Slower than Albon, though. Crazy. 5 minutes to go. We could lose. I think we could lose a big name or two here. We could lose a big name. Just with how the times and whatnot are tumbling. I think unless they know rain's coming in right now. Oh, I've no idea, Vandana. No idea. Not a clue. I've not looked deeply into it, mate. It's impossible to say because it could rain and all sorts. It's impossible to say at this point. We've got Albon with another purple middle sector. Go on, Albon. Albon with another purple middle. Where is he? He's coming around the final corner. Can he get this done? Go on, Albon. Faster than Sainz by 0.2 of a second through the middle of the track. Here's Albon. Ah, he lost it in the final sector, half a second off there. Albon looking brilliant. Fantastic. Wouldn't I think everyone would be united in absolutely loving Albon being up there by the end of this session, wouldn't they? I think everyone would agree on that. Really, really would. Leclerc is personal best through sector 1 and 2. Leclerc, 8th. This is legit from Albon. This is legit. This is 2 fast runs that the Ferraris have put in behind him and been slower. And the Mercedes, both Mercedes have had a go. They haven't got in front of him either. This is real pace from Albon. Whoa, mate, I'd love to see this. I'd love to see this from Albon. Fantastic result so far. It only matters in Q3, obviously, but crazy. Zhou moves up to 12th. Hulk, yeah, Hulk up in 5th. Good shout there, Harry. Yeah, good shout. This is something that I said, though, in the TSKF1 show yesterday. The soft tyres weren't switching on. So it's taking laps on laps as we see Verstappen do a purple middle sector and go faster by about another tenth. So he's 4 tenths ahead of Alonso now. Tsunoda in 13th. Trying to actually watch it a bit this week as well, instead of just watching the live timing. Please do smash the like button, get involved in the chat, guys. 2-minute warning. So at risk right now, Sargent, Norris, Piastri and Bottas. Obviously Perez is out. I mean, the McLarens, what can you say? Hamilton pops it into second place with a purple final sector. So Norris is back up to 12th now. So it's Zhou, Sargent, Piastri, Bottas that we could be losing here. This isn't good. This isn't... Certain drivers are really chilling now towards the end of the lap. Verstappen's done. Checo, we think there's some kind of car issue. It looks like he just locked up and ran wide at T3. But actually, I think everyone's unanimously thinking there was an issue. He did say there was an issue, but it looked like it as well, that he just didn't have the braking. Okay, let's have a look. Gasly on a personal best, Zhou on a personal best, Piastri on a personal best, Bottas on a personal best. So the order is going to move as Leclerc's on a personal best also, but not purple. Do you think Red Bull did it on purpose? Why? What? Alonso is flying, but is he actually quick? I don't know. Russell on a personal best as well. So are you asking me if I think Red Bull gave Perez an issue on purpose? Is that the question? Russell with a personal best coming up. Ocon goes up into third, as Harry says that. Ocon goes up to third. Oh, Piastri. Gasly's only in 13th. Ocon goes third. No, it makes no sense to do that. It makes no sense to do that, Frank. No sense to do that, mate. No. So you've got Verstappen, Russell, Hamilton, Ocon, Alonso. Leclerc's bailed out of his lap because he's safe. Stroll up to 6th. So Verstappen, Russell, Hamilton, Ocon, Alonso, Stroll, Sainz, Albon, Hulkenberg, Magnussen, Leclerc, Norris, Gasly, De Vries, and Tsunoda. We have lost Piastri, Zhou, Sargent, Bottas, and Perez. But no, no. To answer your question, in seriousness, Frank, no. It makes what I would retort by saying, why would they do that to Perez? My firm belief is no, though. In answer to your question, mate. So there we are. Any surprises that we lost in the end? It's Bottas, actually. That's fairly terrible from Bottas. Because if it wasn't for Perez, Bottas would have been dead last there. That's not good, is it? Actually, Bottas has been really hot and cold, hasn't he, this season? He's looked exceptional in flashes, but then he's looked really bad. He's it's a bit weird, isn't it? Because he's been out qualified, I think, multiple times already this season by Zhou Guanyu or Guanyu Zhou. Hmm. It's a bit strange, isn't it? What's going on with Bottas? I need to bring up the right. Ah, I know what was up. I didn't have the right screen up. What's going on with Bottas? Do we have any theories on Bottas? Does anyone care? I guess it's just not in the window for him. But I'll tell you this: I will look. I think the credit needs to be put on Joe, doesn't it? I think maybe looking at it the wrong way. I think maybe credit needs to be put on Joe because, yeah, okay, they're both out, but he has outqualified Bottas. And would I have thought that Joe could outqualify Bottas? Honestly, no. I honestly wouldn't have. So fair play to Joe. I'll do it that way round. Maybe Bottas is underperforming, but Joe, you know, we did it plenty last season to Daniel Ricciardo getting beaten by Norris, so why not? It's a bit early to say, Biswa. It's a little bit early to say because the weather's so changeable. It would be good, I think, if the Mercs were up there. I think there's opportunity there as well because I do think that the Red Bulls maybe have got a little bit of a chink in their armour. So, which track do you think gives the best pictures of all-round ability to these F1 cars? Um, I think honestly, it sounds biased, but I think certain parts of Silverstone really do, Philip. Like when you're talking um Cops and Stowe, Maggots, Beckett's, that those areas of Silverstone, they really show what a Formula One car can do. But also parts of Spa as well will do it. Me honestly, Jeddah is up there for me as well. But well, there are some changes of direction actually at Jeddah. It's a good question. Where do you guys think? Which track do you think gives the best picture of all-round ability of these cars? When I think of F1, when I think of modern Formula One cars, I'm thinking of speed and mind-bending changes of direction, which the reality of you can only see in person. I don't really know how to put it, but the change of direction you will never get. You will never get on TV. And I hate to be that guy. The first time you see a Formula One car at pace on an area of a track where it changes direction quickly, that's when you really see what an F1 car can do. You can watch it on TV all your life, but nothing prepares for you for real life. And I hate to be that guy and say that, but I think any F1 fan needs to do the best to once in the life see even a Friday practice. I've been looking at Silverstone Friday practice. It's still really expensive for me, but I've been looking at Silverstone's Friday practice just this morning, actually, just to go and experience some Formula One, because there's nothing like it. There's nothing like it. When you, exactly what Harry just said, Maggots Beckett's is probably the area of a track, I would say, because you've got the left, right, and then left again up onto the Hangers Straight. It's mad how quickly, and the first time, I'll always remember it, the first time I saw a Formula One car go through cops, I couldn't believe the speed that they just turn in with absolute confidence. It's honestly, it has to be seen to be believed. You've got the setup in Austin. Q2 is underway. It is. I didn't mention it just because nothing's happening yet. People are out on track, though. We've got De Vries, Leclerc, Sainz, Tsunoda, Alonso, Norris, Magnussen, Hulkenberg, Stroll, and Albon out on the track. Here we go then. We've got some people on. Yeah, definitely, Glad. Definitely. Right then, who's on a lap? We are see. I don't know if this is on a quick lap. Trying to see who's on a quick lap here. The Alonso set some. Well, we don't know. We don't know about purples yet, do we? So we'll watch these first laps coming through. De Vries, I think, is setting the first lap here. Ooh, Harry with the doesn't think one of the Ferraris will reach Q3. Is that going to be a Harry hot take? We'll have to see, won't we? We'll have to see. All purple mini sectors from the Aston Martins through sectors 1 and 2 so far. Verstappen will go fastest in a moment. Actually, Alonso goes fastest there. Where's Verstappen? Verstappen does go fastest, yeah. Wait, what's going on? Why is everything so out of sync? Wait. Oh, wow. That's so out of sync. My live timing is massively out of sync here. I need to... That is... Sorry. I am so delayed. Apply that. Right then. Okay. So Lance Stroll goes fastest. Max Verstappen running slightly wide at turn one. Nothing crazy, but he does. Mercedes front row possible. Not for me, Frank. Not for me. Not for me. Leclerc goes P1 provisionally there by less than a tenth of a second. Verstappen with purple first sector there. I think personally you're going to have Ferraris, the Red Bull of Verstappen, and the Aston Martins. If Mercedes can break into there, we'll see, But they're not doing anything in the timing screens at the minute, as we're seeing Verstappen very, very quick through sectors 1 and 2. Hulkenberg up to third place there, brilliant there. 3 different teams in front 3. That's a potential. Good morning, Dan. Purple middle sector for Albon again. Purple final sector for Hulkenberg. As Verstappen goes purple final sector and goes first by 0.3 of a second. Please make sure you're hitting that like button, guys. You might have to close the chat to do so, but please do hit that like button. It really, really helps. Purple first sector from Alonso here, and slightly off middle sector, but he's also setting purple mini sectors in the final sector. Alonso might go P1 provisionally here. The Mercedes are on personal best as Alonso goes second by just over half a tenth there. Can we see a 1 minute 16 before rain? Well, I don't know when the rain is or if. I've not heard that, Harry. I've not heard that, Harry. I don't. Okay, so we're into a little bit of a lull with 8 minutes to go here, and we've got Verstappen, Alonso, Leclerc, Stroll, Hulkenberg. Oh, Lando, big moment into turn 3 where we lost Perez earlier. Potentially a touch of floor damage there. Yeah, I've not heard about that. I heard things about seat position and stuff. But okay, so Verstappen's back in the pits. Well, it's to do with everything I was talking about. I can't remember what stream it was. It was one of the morning shows where I was talking about center of gravity. And they'll have moved him forward to play with a center of gravity, won't they? To offset the engine and the gearbox and things like that, and try and keep that center of gravity as neutral as possible. But I don't know. That's I don't know. It's a fairly advanced conversation. Nobody can feel what he's feeling, can they? You know. But without feeling the rear, you're not going to have any confidence in what's going on. So you don't see it's not going to magically improve, and I don't think for Mercedes. Well, did that just happen? Alonso with a purple first sector. Did Alonso run wide or anything there? Because that was weird. He only had 2 purple mini sectors, but he went fastest in the first sector. That's very, very odd. He didn't go fastest in the second sector. He went very, very quick in the first sector for only having 2 purple mini sectors. That's weird. And he's not quick now either. The McLaren's just rubbish, isn't it? It's not good. Guys, hit the like. How have I only got 12 likes on the stream and the 60 odd of you watching? Come on, hit that like, guys. It really, really helps. Thank you very much. Hulkenberg in 5th. That's really, really good, isn't it? It's really good. I don't think he does now. I don't think he does now, though, Philip. This is the thing. He's not. Even Norris isn't doing anything, is he? There's nothing in that car this season at all. It's just they've got it very wrong, haven't they? At McLaren. But we'll see. He's starting another lap. Where is he? Okay, a couple of green mini sectors. As we see Verstappen getting prepared to come out again. Anyone on any kind of lap? Ocon is on a personal best right now. Norris is on a personal best now as well. Purple mini sector even from Norris. So maybe there is something coming from Norris here. Like, I'm not knocking Norris in saying he doesn't flatter it, but... Well, yeah, but we see it all the time, Philip. We see it all the time, you know. As Norris jumps up to 10th there. We see it all the time, Philip. It's just Formula One, isn't it? You know, George Russell at the back and things like that in the Williams. Like, you know. Alonso's not been in a fast car for years and no one was crying about it. You know, it's one of them things. As Albon sets a purple middle sector and goes 9th. I think he's going to need maybe a bit more than that to get through to Q3. Hamilton is on a quick lap, but whether he improves or not is another thing. Verstappen is on a personal best first lap, first sector, but not purple. Ooh, that McLaren sounded horrible after he hit the gravel. Albon's like a rocket ship in the middle sector. He's got to do more for me. He's got to do more for me to be bothered about Tsunoda, honestly. I've still never seen anything in particular that makes me think, oh, he's wild, he's really good. As Verstappen goes faster. Can Alonso grab P1 today? Nah, not for me. Not for me. That Red Bull's just too strong, in my opinion. I know people might disagree with me, but I think there needs to be external influences for anyone to beat Verstappen to pole today. Little bird walking across the track. Sorry, I was just giggling in my head about a bird wandering across the track there. Personal best first sector for Hulkenberg. Purple middle sector again for Albon. That's quite ridiculous. That is quite ridiculous. And yeah, I agree, Harry. As Gasly jumps up to fourth, it's disappointing Sargent being down in 18th when you see what Albon is doing. And also, there was another Magnussen in 12th when Hulkenberg's in 7th, right? Well, it depends. It depends if it's going to rain. They're not mentioning rain, so I don't know. It's going to be into the 16th. No idea what the track record is. I didn't do all that research. I'm not going to lie. I didn't do all that research before I went live today. It's Hulkenberg goes a bit faster. Look, he goes up to third. That when are people going to start slagging off Kevin Magnussen like they were Mick Schumacher last season for being slow? Just saying. Just saying. Just saying. I'd love to have seen what Mick Schumacher could have done in that car. Anyway, Russell, it's Verstappen, Alonso, Sainz, Leclerc, Hulkenberg, Russell, Hamilton, Gasly, Stroll, Albon. At the moment, we're losing Ocon, Tsunoda, Norris, Magnussen, and De Vries. And I think that is it. I think that's it. Albon. Now, your prediction was fairly terrible, Harry. I was glossing over that, pal. Albon, Q3. Brilliant, brilliant. Hulkenberg. Hulkenberg and Albon. Brilliant work, boys. Brilliant work, boys. Ocon dropping out as well. Poor from Stroll. Jolyon Palmer's just said something very interesting. I'm just throwing it out there, just the same if you guys haven't heard this. Nico Hulkenberg is 1/10 from the front row. Let that percolate. Ocon saying he got traffic there. Hulkenberg, 1/10 from the front row. He still won't get a podium. I mean, if none of you, well, some of you haven't known me long enough, but I used to really like Kevin. I used to really like Nico Hulkenberg, and I was absolutely gutted at Hockenheim when he crashed out from a podium position in his Renault. I was gutted, but I still don't see him getting a podium. But wouldn't it be crazy So the Q3 starting in about 5 minutes. Oh dear. Are you are you guys are you guys seeing the mess around with Sonoda on the weighbridge? Oh dear. Sonoda's an angry young little man. He just is. He's a very angry young man. Bless him. He does get angry. Gets so angry. Um, is racecraft in? I mean, it's a difficult one, really. It's a difficult one, really. I don't think it's to do with his racecraft, but by and large, he doesn't have a car which will maintain pace. Through the speed trap, the Red Bulls are quickest, obviously, at 3:27, because we had some conversation about this, right? I mean, this paints its own picture. So Bottas, right, was out and basically last. I know Perez was, but Bottas was basically last, right? Difference front to back was Verstappen 327 kilometers an hour, all right? Bottas 319. So the difference front to back is 8 kilometers an hour. Yeah, you've got Red Bull, Williams. Actually, Norris. I think this also tells a story. Norris is 5th in the speed trap there as Piastri was 17th. Norris may be running less downforce in order to try and yank that McLaren forward, potentially. Hulkenberg 6th in the speed trap, but the same speed as quite a few people. 323 kilometers an hour around there seems to be about the average speed. I mean, look, I can't look past Verstappen for pole here, but any one of maybe 4 or 5 drivers could be second. I think you'll get Verstappen by multiple tenths of a second on pole, because I don't think anything can fight that Red Bull. But I don't know who's going to be in second. I think that's what we need to. Who do you think's going to? Well, give me your front row. Give me a front row. Maybe I'm being what's the word? Is it cynical or pessimistic? I'm not sure. I don't think anyone can fight Verstappen for pole. I just don't think anything can match him and that Red Bull. Truthfully, give me your front row though, guys, and make sure you're hitting that like on the stream. Come on, Q3. Verstappen, Alonso front row. Max, Charles, Alonso. Got a green light. Oh. It's getting... Apparently, that they're just on about... Actually, Coulthard was just saying how clouds are gathering. And we can see Max and... Well, everyone is... We've got Hamilton, Russell, Leclerc, Sainz, Alonso, and Verstappen all there on pit out. Max, Alonso, Hulk, I'll go for it. I think... I think Verstappen by... I'm going to go with 4/10. So Ferrari think last 3 or 4 minutes there's going to be rain. Me and Harry. I need Harry as like Ted, don't I? Ted Kravitz. I think Verstappen by 3 or 4/10 on pole, then I think Alonso. I'd love it to be closer, don't see it. Verstappen, Alonso, then I think you'll see Leclerc. And then let's go for it. Let's say Hulk 4th. Let's go for it. I don't think so, but... Yeah, if Ferrari have said it though, Harry, yeah, I think I agree. If they believe it's for the last 3 or 4 minutes, it's about to downpour in the next 10 seconds. Oh my God. Here we go then. Verstappen's on his lap, I think. He is. Purple first sector. Purple second sector. Alonso's not pushing yet. What have we got? Nobody else is pushing particularly yet. Hulkenberg is and has purple mini sectors. Hulkenberg 500ths of a second slower through sector 1. Hulkenberg basically matches Verstappen through sector 1 and is setting a purple mini sector. One moment. So Verstappen does go fastest. Okay, Hulkenberg 1/10.5, 2/10-ish behind at the midpoint of the lap. Hulkenberg absolutely, he's just the rocket ship. What's going on here? Purple mini sectors for purple mini sectors from Hulkenberg in the final sector as well. The tyres might have given up as it's gone to yellow mini sectors now. It's flying. Oh, there you go. Half a second. Alonso with a purple first sector. About 1/10 faster, I think. Gasly up to third. Well, 7 seconds off. Alonso, I think, is right there for the... is right there, I think, for the front row. Yeah. The rear again. By the way, that was the rear on braking. That was the rear on braking again from Red Bull. Just saying. It's a problem for them as Alonso goes on to provisional pole by 0.2 of a second, nearly 0.3 of a second. Russell, purple middle sector. Russell could go on to provisional pole here as Leclerc goes into second place. Russell. Sainz goes second. Russell, this is a fast lap. Russell goes second by just less than half a tenth as Hamilton puts it onto provisional pole. The top 3 covered by 0.75 of a tenth of a second. Hell's teeth. Wowzers. Where's this come from? Let's have some rain right now. Let's have some... That's crazy. Albon, purple middle sector. He only goes 7th. Bum. Verstappen's got a lot of time in him, though, here, hasn't he? It could rain any moment from now. Stroll, only 10th. I think he'll go for it a bit more this lap. Right, everyone's on a bit of a cool-down lap now. I think you're right there, Gled. I think they're going to do a double sort of run here. Could be a personal best from Verstappen, but it is a quick middle sector, though it's not his best. He does go fastest by 9 thousandths of a second. 9 thousandths of a second. That Red Bull, when the grip in there, that rear of the Red Bull is not working. Can we just take a moment? Can we just take a moment? The top 4, less than a tenth of a second. Less than a tenth of a half to the top 5. Oh, please let this be real so that I don't... Look, I'm not being a hater or any of that nonsense. I don't want Verstappen to get a pole by like 4 or 5 tenths. Just as a Formula 1 fan, I just don't want that. If it's this close, oh, God, how good would it be? If it was truly this close around here. You can see it. You can see it, Harry. You just watch, right? If anyone who's wondering, as you're watching, the Max Verstappen entering a corner, say it's a right-hand turn, you'll see him turn into the corner and then left turn come onto it. It's because he's losing the rear of the car, and he does indeed have the same issue. You can see it, lots and lots and lots. It's. Yeah, I'd compare it to that. Yeah, exactly, Harry. They've got something, right? It's one of these things. It won't be as simple as brake balance. It's something to do with regen rates on the hybrid system and things like that. It's just not engine braking maps for the engine. I think they've fundamentally maybe got it wrong this weekend. Stroll on a personal best. Yeah, Verstappen downshifts are getting worse as well. And you can see it. The rear, when he's slowing down, it's all to do with that stuff. Yep. Stroll on a fast lap. Where's he going? Personal best. He might go fastest here. Oh, only 7th. Okay. Yeah, it's not right, is it? It's only really showing its head here properly, isn't it? We've heard the reliability issues, but we've not seen it right then. It is so close. I want this to be real so bad, Harry. I want it to be real so badly. Look at that. I don't remember ever seeing the top 4 well within a tenth like this. I don't remember it. I just... look... It'll be great for Verstappen fans and Red Bull fans if Verstappen goes out and does what we know that car is capable of in going like 3 or 4 tenths faster than everyone. But I really don't want to see it. I really don't want to see that. That's a good observation there, Racing Central. Turn in while braking and it'll expose the issues, yeah. So everyone's out again. We have 3 minutes to go. Is this going to be it? Oh. Hamilton has been compromised big time by a Haas in front of him. Okay. Right then. I'm keeping an eye on the mini sectors for you. Yeah, I agree, Glad. I agree. I'm keeping an eye on the mini sectors. As soon as I start to see anyone going quickly, I'll tell you. Leclerc did set a personal best first sector. But I think they're doing a double warm-up, like we've seen, and then they're going to go for it with like a minute to go. Okay, Hulkenberg fast middle sector, Leclerc purple final sector going to 5th only for the Ferrari driver. Hulkenberg with a personal best second sector, like I said, which was actually faster than Leclerc's, but he's about a tenth off. So you could see Hulkenberg jump up to around 6th or 7th here. Keeping an eye on it. Okay, Verstappen, purple, first sector. Yeah, here we go. This is Verstappen. Verstappen's got it switched on now. Verstappen is flying. This is what really I expected to see. Alonso about 3/4 of a tenth off in the first sector on Verstappen. We're seeing Verstappen come through any moment now. He's got the last 3 corners to go, but many purple mini sectors being set here. Alonso is about a tenth and a half off, probably. Now, as Verstappen goes fastest there, my lord. My lord. I don't really have to say out, do I? Yeah. Alonso goes into second, 4 tenths behind. Yeah, I've been waiting for that. Hamilton on a quick lap as Sainz goes up to third. Hamilton on a personal best lap. Russell goes up to second place, 2 tenths off. Hamilton goes up to third. And that's it. I think that'll be it. I think that'll be it. Looking at the mini sectors, I don't see anyone going any faster. I think you're going to have Verstappen, Russell, Hamilton, your top 3 with Alonso and Sainz. Stroll, Leclerc, Albon, Gasly and Hulkenberg. I think that's your top 10. I think that's your top 10 looking at it. There you go. That is good for Merck. Good for Merck. Yeah, I think Mercedes will be happy with that. Verstappen didn't see what coming, you seen? I don't know, Philip. Everyone knew it was going to happen. It's just that Red Bull is the class of the field, isn't it? That car's just miles beyond anything on the grid, isn't it? It just is. And it's not disrespectful to say it's a compliment to Red Bull. That was a fun qualifying session. Red Bull did what on purpose, for sure? Charles went for it on his first lap. He expected rain. Ferrari told him rain was coming. So he went for it on his first lap, that's all. Red Bull did what on purpose? What did they do? Get pole? I would imagine they intended to. There we are. It's very interesting, though, because really, the Mercedes have had better race pace than anything. I don't see them... I don't know, Tim. He was compromised the lap before, but I don't know. I'll be honest. And now, basically, the rain's arriving now. Apparently, I'm just looking at all the reports on track stuff. Do we expect red flags? No. Not really. Not more than anywhere else in particular for me. In particular, even. Could be interested, yeah. Could be interesting. We'll have to see tomorrow, won't we? And I'll be live for it tomorrow morning, guys. So make sure you're hitting that subscribe button down below. as I'll be live 5:45 tomorrow morning with the race. Second pit lane? What do you mean? Do you know what I didn't even notice? Alex Albon in 8th. I was looking at Hulkenberg. Albon in 8th. What a run. Part like second pit lane that's next to the pit lane. I think it's just for the Parc Ferme, isn't it? It's just how they've arranged it there. But there we are, guys. All right. I will be live. Shockingly not. It's funny how media narrative influence people, isn't it? Right, I'll be live tomorrow morning, 5:45, with the Australian Grand Prix, and I'm really looking forward to it. It could be interesting, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Please do remember to hit that like button still. It really helps, and I will see you in the morning, and I hope you'll join me. Cheers, guys. See you later.